Good morning. We're here at the M Restaurant in Canary Wharf, central London. I'm delighted to welcome Adam Wallace. Welcome, Adam. Hope we're going to have 30 minutes of inspiration. Anything and everything to do with business. Adam's been around business for many years. What do you do, Adam?
Interesting. So we've created a national business membership. The idea really being to kind of help SMEs along their journey from start to finish, really. So I run that. We've helped create it. It's taken us the best part of sort of 16 months to get to where we are currently. But yeah, that's what we're doing.
So when you say SME, small, medium-sized enterprise, you're talking about anybody from a one-man band starting out in business for the first time, right the way up to where would you normally sort of go to?
I think, I suppose the answer is yes, anybody from a one-man band. I think anybody that's facing challenges, so having done it myself, having sort of worked with thousands of SMEs over the years, there's so many different areas of business that you might not have contacts for. So for me, the whole concept is, if you need a website redesign, if you've got a contact for that, then we're not going to be much use to you. But there's many other areas of business that we can help you with. So, and then we're kind of almost working that for personal journeys as well. So I think your bigger SMEs could be thousands of employees. You're going to have most of your contacts in place and be pretty established. But then there might be personal stuff where you need to start thinking about estate planning and things like that. So I think it's really anywhere from one-man band upwards and anywhere in between and helping them with their journey. I think what we want to do is have that point of difference where it's not just opening up a black book and saying, use it how you will. It's tell us a problem and let's put you in touch with someone we've worked with or that they've worked with and have in a trusted community that can help you save time, save money, and give you the best results.
Immediately, membership club springs to mind, but you put it much more articulately, and that is a trusted community. That, to me, is something that I wish I'd have had access to when I first started out. So I think that the idea is fantastic. How did you get into business, though? You've obviously had years and years, tens of years of experience in business. What was the moment that made you look at becoming a business owner?
So I'm a sort of an ex-rugby player, fell into business, doing sales and so on and so forth, and went through that journey. And I think getting frustrated with working for four people, getting all the results and not benefiting from all of it. Yeah. That was kind of what pushed me. But I think then it's a great idea and concept, but then you've got to face the reality of how do we do this and what do you need and what can I learn and who do I turn to for that? Because it is quite a lonely place when you're running it and doing it all on your own. And that's part and parcel of why we're here today with MTG is it's the amount of time that's been wasted for me personally and for many other people, I'm sure. If you need a new sales director, for example, and you don't have a contact for recruitment, that's a Google journey. That comes and costs you a lot of time filtering out, finding the people, filtering out the people that aren't like-minded, getting the price right, getting the right people. If you can ask me that question, I can put you in touch with exactly the right person, give you time back, give you money back. If you want to invest that time and money in yourself, family holidays, golf course, whatever it might be, crack on. If you want to invest it back into the business, well, then let's sit down and let's work out what you want to achieve with the business. So your one-man band might want to grow. What do we need for that? Do we need to tap into a business coach? Do we need to tap into other contacts? And let's just try and get you to where you want to get to quicker. I think that's the thing. It's passionate about helping people get to their goals that little bit faster and reap the rewards off the back of it.
Because speed is so important in business.
I think speed's important, but I think also, for me personally, there's not enough hours in a day. So for me, it's not actually all about the money now. If I can give some hours back to people for them just to even take a breath and decide what they want to do with stuff and what they want to do with their business, or even take a step back and go, shit, I've got that hour. Now I can actually stop and do a review of the business. Because a lot of the time, my personal view is you kind of crack on forever solving problems, but do you get that time to stop and review it and put a strategy together?
I think one of the things you were talking about when we were having a coffee before we came in here, we were talking about that actually it would be a great goal to be able to have as many clients, members, as it is partners.
Absolutely. And I think the concept really, we've touched on giving time back. We've touched on saving money, because all of our partners will provide their services at member-only rate. So actually they can't get that even if they went and tried to go through a Google search. So they can save the time, they can save the money, have a bit of fun along the way. But I think we're not arrogant enough to think that we've got all the answers, and actually coming up with something completely new, and all the things that are going on out in the world at the moment, we want to add different things and have that point of difference, that something new turns up, we want to be the first people to know about it. And that could take hundreds of partners. And actually the scope for the members, if the members think that there's room, and they've looked through our service list and they've met the partners at partners events or whatever it might be, and they feel that they've got something they can offer, we want it to be an open, trusted community where people can say, well, look, Adam, this is what we're doing. We think it's really exciting. What do you think? Do you think we can add that to the services? Let's grow together. Because I think there's, again, we touched on sport quite a bit between you and I, but there's a lot of cross-sporting collaboration and education. And I don't think there's enough in business. And I think if we've got people from different walks of life, all like-minded, they want to succeed, they've a bit of fun on the way, but we can all learn from each other, then we're going to get to where we want to get to that bit quicker. And then you're buying time back from your later years as well.
I think when I look back on my career as a business person, I think one of the hardest things that I went through was loneliness. Even working from home has come back to haunt me a little bit in terms of when that pandemic hit and we're all sat in those offices. You can do Zoom calls as much as you like. It doesn't replace that having a chat with a like-minded person who maybe has been through or has contacts in or is looking to do something similar. I think that what you're talking about in terms of the membership, can you just take somebody through, if they're sat there now, they've got this idea, some of the things that they could come to the membership with, just some very basic things about how your partnerships with people, like-minded people, that they could signpost them to. Because if I had that ability to be a member back then, it would have been amazing.
As in the things we can help with.
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, God. So I think we've probably started with it being very much service-led. So an accountant, a lawyer, and whatever else. But let's be honest, you're probably only talking to a lawyer, and our lawyer partners that might get a bit cross, but you're only talking to a lawyer if things aren't going well. Sure. The accountants tend to be pretty decent relationships, but we've got all those things in place. We've also got everything and anything from sort of being able to provide commercial finance. We've got digital marketers, we've got website designers, we've got mental health coach partners, and some of the mental health coach and the business coaches are all ex-professional sports people as well. So they've got some really interesting input from sort of psychology angles. What else have we got? We've got things like your pensions, we've got employee incentive programs, we've got rewards programs that we can offer. The list literally goes on, and that's not the end of it. We want to add more to it. I think one of the other guys I know you've done this with, they've got the web hosting, which is all completely carbon neutral, which I love. It's all very current, and we're talking to people on cyber stuff because that's pretty topical at the moment, and there's parasites out there causing innocent business owners worlds of stress, and if we can help save them that problem and prevent it rather than have to go back and cure it. So it's kind of almost like that full service where we can stop problems happening, fix problems quickly. But yeah, the list is pretty extensive, and I think we can just keep adding to it. Again,
earlier in the conversation this morning, we were talking about some of the things that uniquely you've created and some of the things that you deliver. Can you touch on a few of those things, those services, like the card and stuff?
With regards to the rewards programs.
Is that something that is going to be offered to the people?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a separate business, but it is one of the main partners from MTG. So it's a resource that other people can tap into.
Oh, fantastic.
It's around employee benefits, but it's also around loyalty and rewards for businesses.
Okay.
And I think generally we've all got a loyalty and rewards card in our wallet somewhere on the line, whether it be a Boots card, a Shell's card.
Yeah.
We all know they exist, but I think most business owners, certainly in the SME market, think that these are only really work for the bigger corporates, or that they're really expensive to implement. And the reality is they aren't. We know that they can create or increase customer loyalty. You're going to increase client retention. By doing that, you're going to increase client spend. You're also going to get your brand awareness out there. And actually, we can do it really, really cheaply. We can probably, the way we're doing it with our sort of loyalty program, we can probably do it more cheaply than what you're putting in place currently.
Wow.
What a lot of people, and the way that market's moved to is, historically, it used to be you kind of closed loop rewards programs. So that might be something like a Boots loyalty card. So you can only spend it with Boots, and those points might expire, for example. So the way the market's moving with that is that we've done our own one, is using a prepaid MasterCard or Visa card or something like that. So what happens there is, obviously, if we're trying to incentivize 1,000 people of different ages, different sexes, different tastes, you're never going to get that with a closed loop rewards program, because not everyone shops in Boots, or no one. You know what I mean? Whereas if you're putting the points on a MasterCard where they can go and spend that anywhere they take MasterCard, that's an open-ended, open-looped rewards program. So personally, I had quite a lot of success with a huge corporate, with Samsung, for example, and they were doing some major rewards programs that involved, I think it was best part of 4,500 cards that went out. From my memory serves me right, we managed to reduce their incentive spend by 1.3 million quid a year, and the ROI on some of the companies was up to 89% increase. So it's incredibly powerful, and I think that's one of the things we can, certainly we're a little bit biased because we do that. We don't want that to take preference over any other services from MTG, but I think if we are buying people time, and we can then sit down with some of the other services and point them in the right direction, customer loyalty and getting your clients coming back to you regularly, using your own loyalty program at a cost that isn't big corporate prices, is a huge benefit there for small businesses massively, because how else do you do it?
Sure. What's the vision like? So you guys have sat down, blank piece of paper, as most businessmen do, sit there one day and say, right, okay, this is what we've got as a vision. We want to have this number of customers, this number of partners. And I know you said already that could realistically be equal number of partners and members. Do you have numbers? Have you set some numbers out?
I don't think so. I think it was 5.6 million SMEs in the country, and that was 3.3 million beginning of last year. So that's great for us. And I think your Googles or your big corporates, they get all the best support. So what we want to try and do is offer that level of support, but on a more personal level, to the SMEs at affordable prices. Now, do we want 5.6 million members? Yeah, love it. But yeah, it's not doable. But I think there is no real limit to it. I think if once the partners are engaging with one another and the members are properly engaging, which there's no reason why this can't be huge. I'd like us to be the number one support for SMEs in the country. I want people to, if they get asked a challenge, we've got it on the front page of the website, and if they've ever had to ask that question, where do I start? I want them to go pick up the phone to MTG.
What is the website address?
So the website address is just mtgroup.uk.
Okay.
And the other one is infinityrewards.co.uk.
And if somebody wanted to get hold of you because they like what they heard on this podcast, how do they get hold of you?
So they can drop me an email just to adam@mtgroup.uk, and I can respond to that, or there are contact details on the website.
Fantastic.
Website also. But yeah, the thing is that support to the SMEs that need it, and not just in business. If we can start protecting people's estate against IHT and whatever else it might be. So beginning of the journey, end of the journey, and everything in between. And again, if people have got ideas and concepts, they look at the website and think they're missing a trick, pick up the phone.
The viewers and listeners out there will be a range of business people. They'll either be owners and controllers of businesses and shareholders and directors, there will also be people out there that will be in a job right now or out of a job but looking to become a business owner or a business controller. I know that your service that you're delivering is correct because you were able to help me.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at something that I'd not looked at before. I called you, we had a conversation, and you said, why don't you think about these guys? And all of a sudden, the solution was there. So people out there, doesn't have to be a lonely place. And I keep saying that in a lot of the podcasts that we're having, is that business can be very lonely.
Yeah,
and sometimes that loneliness is sometimes a decision to stop being in business, and doesn't need to be that way. And I think it's commendable what you're doing. Is there anything that you want to talk about that we haven't talked about yet?
I think you touch on a sort of pretty valid point about the loneliness, because I think we've obviously covered the time, the rewards, the savings, the trusted community. But I think we want it to be that environment where you can pick up the phone to either like-minded, similar-sized businesses. We want to create that community where people get on and it doesn't feel that lonely. Even if it is, I mean, if you sat there, like you say, you sat in your bedroom starting up a business and you've got 10 challenges you don't know where to start with, that's a pretty lonely starting point. But if you pick up the phone, we can put you in touch with 10 really nice, friendly people. Not only are you fixing your problems, but you're solving the loneliness problem as well. So I think that's key.
And you're generating a contact almost for life.
And that's what we want it to be.
Yeah, because the moment that you solve a problem, people never forget that. I've found that in business, that those calls that come in that say, have you ever done this before? Or has this happened before? And you say, yeah, it did. How did you deal with it?
Yeah.
That forum should never, ever be underestimated.
No, completely. And I think we make that very clear to the partners, is that ultimately it doesn't cost anything to be a partner. They are generating lots of business off the back of it. But the biggest thing is it's all of our reputations are on the line. We all have to do a good job. This isn't a case of quick, use us quickly and then go somewhere else. We want this to be, we can help people at the beginning of their journey, at the end of the journey. But at the beginning of your journey, let's help you all the way through.
Sure.
They're completely spot on. I don't want it to be just a quick fix it once. Because if that is the case, then we're not doing it right and you're not benefiting from the point of the membership.
Yeah. So actually,
it could almost be picking up the phone to me almost every day with a different problem.
Yeah, because you've got that many contacts.
Completely. And we're passionate about helping, because we've experienced it, making people's life easier. Let's be honest, business isn't easy.
No.
And you spend so many hours of our life doing it.
Yeah.
If we can make it easier, give a bit of time back and make it a bit of fun along the way, then...
And actually, how many other businesses have the ability to have a customer and then the customer almost immediately turns into the partner, potentially?
Yeah.
Because they might have something unique that you don't have, and they become a customer because they want to know about X, but actually they deliver Y.
Yeah.
And you don't deliver Y.
And off they go to the next thing, and and that's one of the beauties of it, I think, is that there is scope for us all to... But I think there's no real difference between a partner and a member. We all want to benefit.
Sure.
The phrase, a bit fairly cheesy, I think, is that we want it to be a win-win-win.
Yeah,
we want to win from a membership side of things. We want the partners to win, but most importantly, we want the members to win. And as long as everybody's getting as much out of it and engaging as well as it should be, it should help people. And like you said, we're giving people that option to not only benefit from it, use it. You might not want to be a partner, but you can still promote something new that you want to talk about to the partners and members. So it's another route to market for you as well. So,
has there been anything that has, in your past, going back into your business careers, anything that you've come up against that's been a struggle? And I know that a lot of the viewers and listeners out there love to know some of the horror stories. And I don't mean the sort of the real horror stories, but certainly the stuff where you got into business and this happened. I have one that I use all the time, but mine's about a bad boss.
okay.
And actually the positive that came out of that is that it drove me to want to set up my own business, because I knew that I could be better than him the way that he dealt with me. Is there anything that...
But I think that could say, I think that kind of goes two ways though, doesn't it? If you didn't have that drive to push yourself to that, it pushes you back into the employed role. And that's the kind of danger of it. But I think, there's nothing drastic's happened, but it's just been I just found it really exhausting trying to have similar conversations with similar people, being promised the earth and delivered an apple. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't getting stuff done with the right people at the right price. That to me was probably what pushed us down this road.
So the driver's been that.
The frustration,
Wow.
the infuriation. And I think, again, the people I've spoken to, the partners that buy into it, and everybody that I've spoken to seems to want to be part of it, which is promising and positive. But I think we've all got that in common, whether that be in our personal lives, getting stuff done, or whether that's in the corporate world. So that can apply to the employees as well. But just getting stuff done and realising that the clock's ticking and want to save time and give it back. So I've not had any drastic memories to refer back to, but it's more a lot of really annoying moments that's created just one big impact and made me go, let's fix this.
Yeah, and actually, frustration on a regular, consistent basis, it's a big driver, but it's also, it can push you down a mental problem area.
Well, it's a test of character, isn't it? You get all those not knockbacks, but it's just, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Is it worth it? And then it does put that in your mind, and then it becomes mental and psychological. And that's where the mental health type of people and the people that we've got that have achieved really high levels of sport, they can have those conversations. And I want it to be so that people can relate to the problems that you're experiencing. So I think, the frustration is a bit of a test of character, but it gives you a kick up the backside to go and fix a problem. And again, if it's sort of working for me, the black book I've got, and Tony, my business partner, and everybody else, all the partners, we can kind of 10 turns to 100 turns to 1,000. We've got all these problems solved in one place.
And sport's been pretty pivotal in your life in terms of that network. And the beauty about sport is that the people that you were teammates with have gone and done their thing in business. A lot of people. And when you talk to people in business, you ask them about their sporting background. Yeah. A lot of them have that. They have a music background, there might be a culture background, but the sporting one is the one where those relationships have been generated, and they're generated for life.
Absolutely. And I think you kind of cross it across to all sorts. I think business owners, it's the same thing. You need that resilience to push on. And I think if we can get those relationships, we've got a lot of the partners will be new, because these are things that we haven't even thought of between the partners and all the rest we haven't come up with. But the core base that started, as you rightly say, we've got property surveyors. These guys are some of my best friends and old teammates and whatever it might be. So I trust them with my life, so I trust them with my business, and hopefully everyone else can benefit off the back of it as well.
So viewers and listeners out there, there's really no excuse. With a member-based organisation that's out there ready and willing to help you, just pick up the phone, talk to Adam. I'm pretty sure that you'll get amazing help. Until next time.